You basically got two ways to recruit, really. I mean, you can invite people to meetings, which that works. That's really good. We like that, especially if you're new and you're excited to get people to come to meetings that way. But really, the most effective way to recruit people is when you're able to do an interview with somebody on a one-on-one basis, because it allows you to have a lot more flexibility with meeting people. We meet in Fresno 1 day a week. We meet in Visalia 1 day a week. But doing an interview, you can meet somebody 7 days a week. Any day of the week that you're available, they're available. It just makes it so much more accessible to adding people to your team and to your business. So you want to learn how to do this. I was here about 6 months before I started realizing, man, I need to learn how to do this on my own. But I'm going to tell you something about the interview. It is an art form, and it is a skill. And you will be bad before you will be good. But you've got to start practicing it. You've got to start embarking on that journey, because it is very important. So let me give you some keys when you're getting ready to do an interview. Now, when I say interview, what that means like you're sitting down, maybe you're training somebody, and they brought somebody to you that they want you to talk to the business about. They want you to talk about Primerica. They want you to try to recruit them in, okay? Or it's you sitting down with somebody you met, or somebody that's a family member, or somebody that you know, and you want to explain the business to them, okay? So a couple of things about it. First things first, the people that are great at interviewing, they are great icebreakers, okay? The first thing you got to learn how to do is you got to learn how to break the ice. Another thing you might be able to call this is you kind of make a connection also with them when you break the ice, right? So when you sit down with them, you don't just sit down, you just say, okay, well, we're Primerica, we've been around since 1977. You don't just jump in and do that. Because while you're talking, all they're thinking is, who is this guy? And I wonder where he's from, and I wonder what he knows, and I wonder how much he makes. And they're thinking all about that, because you just went right into it, right? So they're not really hearing you yet. So you want to spend a couple of minutes breaking the ice. Most of the times the interviews where they're done are at a third-party location, like you're going to do them like at a McDonald's or a Panera or a Starbucks. Usually that's where interviews take place. So I like to break the ice, and I'm going to give you a few questions you can ask. Breaking the ice usually is really good by asking some questions about them, okay? But because you're barely meeting them for the very first time most of the times, you don't want to ask too personal questions. Like you wouldn't say, hey, so what's your social security number? Okay, that would not be an appropriate question to ask, right? Something like you wouldn't want to ask them like, hey, so by the way, are you married? That might be a little too forward, too early, too soon. Okay, so you ask other questions like, so how do you know Kevin? How do you guys know each other? Okay, that's a very good question to get them to start talking to you, right? How do you guys know each other? I ask that question all the time, right? A question you could ask is like, are you from here originally? Did you grow up here? If I'm in Tulare with Art, sitting down with somebody, I'm going to ask them, hey, are you from here? Were you born and raised here? And I want them to start talking to me about themselves, okay? If they're from Fresno, you're doing it here in Fresno, I'm going to ask them and say, are you from here? Is this where you grew up? No, I'm from Porterville. Well, there's that's interesting. That's something different, right? He's not from here. He's from Porterville. So I'm going to find out a little bit about that, right? I'm going to talk to him a little bit about that. Get them to talk. The other thing I always look at their age bracket. And we're talking about breaking the ice here, okay? I look at age bracket. If they're younger, or like they're maybe my age or somewhere right around there, I ask questions like, hey, so where did you go to school? What high school did you go to? Because I played sports. I got friends that from other schools. When I just like to hear about that stuff. If he said, oh, I went to Rossi. I said, you went to Rossi? Oh, wow. And he looks like maybe he's a little bit younger than me, but maybe in his 30s. I'm going to say, what year are you? What year did you graduate? And he says, oh, I graduated in 2000, he says, or whatnot. I'm going to think, hey, you know what? Some of the guys I work with, I know a guy that works with us, he graduated from a Rossi. Did you play sports at all? And he was like, yeah, I played basketball. Really? Did you know a guy named Francisco? He's like, Del Rio? Yeah, I knew him. He's like, yeah, I know him. Right? And then boom, we hit it off. Right? They said stuff like, oh, I went to Lemoore. Really? It looks like, what year are you? If they look about your age, Kareen, I'm going to say Lemoore. Did you know a girl named Kareen? But Kareen didn't go to Lemoore. She went to San Joaquin Memorial, right? But, so I pay attention to these things. I really listen to these kinds of things, right? Now, if they're maybe older than me, or they don't look like we're gonna have that kind of a connection there, I'll ask them stuff like, so, hey, what do you do for a living? Okay, and I want to find out about their work. That's very interesting to me. I love to learn about people's jobs. You know, and if they say a job I've never heard of before, like they say, well, I'm a plant operator, excavator. I say, oh really? Well, what is that exactly? I've never heard that before. What does that mean, right? And they start to explain to me what it means and what that job actually is. I pay attention, I listen to that. You know why? Because the very next time I meet somebody that says, oh, I'm a plant operator, excavator, you say, hell, I know somebody who does that, yeah. So how do you like it? You know, he does, you guys put the signs up for companies, right? And he's like, yeah, that's what we do. You know, I'm just trying to make a connection. Now, the reason why I started off with this, and I'm talking about this for a few minutes, is because it is so important when you're doing an interview. It's so important. If you don't do this right, you're not going to make a connection, and you may not recruit somebody that you could have recruited. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you it's this big, okay? And it is an art form, and it takes a little while to get good at, but you will get good at it, okay? If you can talk, and they're talking, and you guys, man, there's just something about it. Think of it this way. When you start the interview, Kevin, they're a stranger. You're a stranger to them. But if I can say, yeah, well, you know, I graduated from Edison, and you say, well, I went to Edison. Really? What year are you? Yeah, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm part of the Tigers for Life Foundation. What? My mom's part of that foundation. Oh yeah, I've been doing that. What's your mom's name? Sarah. Not Sarah. Sarah Puente, is it? Yeah, that's my mom. Well, I know Sarah. We went to school. Man, now we're not strangers anymore. Now we're friends. Now we're great. Now it's like we're on the same side, right? We're not me against her, her against me. We're on the same side. So you try to make a connection. You're breaking the ice. You're doing all that. And sometimes it's hard because like you don't have anything in common at all. But you still got to try. You still got to try and to see. And you're also finding out, are they good people? Are they nice people? So I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm not going to recruit people if they're idiots. If they're not nice people, we're going to find out right now. We're going to find out through this conversation, right? And so break the ice, get good at it, ask them questions about themselves, okay? Not too personal though, not yet, not this early on. All right, the next thing is I always am going to remain in control of the interview. One of the big problems for new people is that they don't stay in control. And this point 2 and 3 are kind of related, so I'm going to put them both on here. Okay, remaining in control. When you go do an interview, see when you're the interviewer, they're the interviewee. You got to remember the relationship there. You're interviewing them. I know that they're trying to find out about you, but you're interviewing them as well. Okay, and so you want to maintain that control. So you ask questions and you tell them things like what we're going to be doing. So like for example, this is what I say. This is how I kind of set the parameters of what we're going to be doing. I'll say, look. All we're going to do today, I'm going to kind of give you some info about our company, but really today's kind of informal. It's a chance for you to find out about us, but it's also a chance for us to find out about you and see if we're kind of a good fit for each other or not. But if everything sounds good and everything's going pretty good, then what we'll do is we'll get together some more and whatnot, because we're pretty information based. If you've done an interview with me, you hear me say that to these people, but I'm setting the parameter up with them, right? Now. If I'm sitting down with somebody and they're like, wait a second, before you get into any of that, okay, I got questions for you, right? You know, how much does it cost? And how much does it do that? How much, and before I start spitting out all that kind of stuff or whatever, I'm going to say, I get control back. I said, whoa. I said, before we get into any of that, okay, first we got to find out, if this is even something that you are even interested in doing, right? I mean, how much has Kareem told you about this so far? I'm getting control back. I want to find out what they know, and we're going to do that. Because here's the thing. The next point is don't be desperate. I am not desperate. When I go do an interview, I can't wait to meet them, but I'm waiting. Give me 1 or 2 reasons to walk out that room. All I need is 1 or 2. If you're not nice and you're not going to, cooperate, I'm out of there. I'm not going to waste my time with you. And I'm out of there. That's my attitude anyways. Okay, not arrogant, not cocky, but if they are very like that, like they're not really interested, I can tell right off the bat, Bill. I'm in 30 seconds, I can tell this guy's not going to work out. You're not going to work out, And so, I've actually told people, I've said, what, I'm sorry, I don't know what Kevin told you about this, but obviously she gave you the wrong impression. You know, obviously it seems to me like you think like we're needing you or we're needing people. That's really not the way we're working. I mean, in fact, we're growing right now like crazy. But we are looking for people, but we're looking for the right people also. And this just probably isn't something that maybe that you're really interested in. So I do appreciate your time and meeting you. And Kevin, you know, we'll talk a little bit later, Kevin, and so forth. But yeah, if you have any questions in the future, just give me a call. We'll definitely get together again. But I'm out of there, man. I am out of there. I do not have time to waste. I don't. Not with the wrong people. So what I want you to know is that when you're doing an interview, the hardest part of doing an interview, people think, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to try to recruit this hard guy. No, you don't. No, you don't. We're not desperate. You don't have to. The best thing, I mean, not the best thing, but you could call me and say, hey, Lenny didn't go good. He wasn't a very nice guy, so I just got out of there. I'm going to say, Pua, awesome. Good job. Good for you, Pua. Because you remain in control. And, I mean, we got the goodies. They're the ones that need to work with us. They're the ones that are struggling. You're not fooling me. I know you need to make money. You're not fooling me, right? That's kind of the attitude that I want you to carry when you're out there. Okay? Now, having said all that, I've probably done that maybe twice in 14 years. Because most times the guys aren't like that. Okay? They could be skeptical. That's okay. But they got to be nice enough to let me talk and listen to what we're gonna go over. Okay? So, guys, this is important. Break the ice, get good at that, remain in control, and don't be desperate. All of these, by the way, you can learn. They're all learned skills, okay? Practice them. The fourth one is have passion. When you're out there, you want to have passion. Now, there is a passion scale, okay? All right? Meaning like you start off slow, and then you pick up with passion as you're going through, right? You don't start off with a 10 on passion. I mean, you don't say, hey, man, my name is Lenny, man. Oh, my God, I can't wait to meet you, right? You know, you can blow people out of the water. You can sound a little weird, too, by the way, okay? So I typically start off slower, you know, meeting them, breaking the ice. You know, I'm talking, I'm nice, I'm doing that kind of stuff. But as we start getting into, like, talking about our company and the products and what we do, then my passion level starts to get up more. I want them to know that I'm passionate about what we're doing, okay? I think it was Francisco was telling me that he sat with somebody, just one of his newest recruits. The guy told him he had sat with somebody from Primerica before, and he told Francisco, hey man, the one thing about you is that you're very passionate. Okay? It goes a long way. People feel it. They want to be a part of something that you really believe in. Okay? And so I'll show you how we do that in a second. And then the last one is to be urgent as well. Okay? You want to be urgent when you're doing the interview. And this is an art form. All of these, it's an art form that you learn to get really good at. Okay? And, you know, urgency, you set up by when you're talking to people. You tell them stuff like, hey, look, we're only going to be here, you know, for about 30 minutes or so, but, you know, I got other appointments in a little bit. So, but look, let's get down to business. And we'll start talking. You know, you give them that sense that you've got somewhere else to go. Not that you don't respect their time. It's just you're busy and you've got other places to go. You're building this business with or without them. Okay? Now, I'm telling you all these things, but it's hard to do because when I say this, a lot of times people will try to do these, but they come across arrogant or cocky and that's not what I mean. Okay? But you want to hit these points without coming across too arrogant at the same time because you want them to like you too. You know, the sense of that, man, this is a good guy. I'd like to be around this guy. I want to find out more about him. But you can still give all these confident feelings across, okay? A guy or a gal, right? As you're doing these. So break the ice, remain in control, don't be desperate, have passion, and then be urgent while you're doing those. If you do those, you're going to have a lot of success as you're going in there, all right? So let's jump right into it. So I'm going to do this as the interview. Now, hey, Art, can we adjust the camera just a little bit? I'm going to, you know what? Let's do this. Actually, leave it as is. I'm going to go through the points on here, and then I'm going to go through them, and then I'm going to actually do an interview on the whiteboard, okay? And so we'll do that. So we'll leave. You got both on there? Okay. But when I stand on there, will I still come up or probably not? No. Okay. All right. So the areas that we cover in an interview, right? Number one is the company and the industry. Okay? Company and the industry. So in the company, right, there are three things about Primerica that I want to tell them. One is, been around since 1977. So we have history, okay? 2 is we're the largest financial service marketing company in North America. So we're the biggest. And 3 is the market that we service is the middle income segment. So that makes us different than everybody else. That's our target, is the middle income segment. Okay. I'm gonna write it down right now, but I want to cover these for you first. And then then that's part of the industry. You know, the industry, the middle income segment has been underserved. They really need us. I'm gonna say that. What we do in our crusade. Okay, I'm gonna talk to them about that. When I say what we do, I want to cover like we do investments. We help people get out of debt, and we help them with coverage programs. Okay, those are the 3 areas that I'm going to talk to them about. The crusade is that our valley. I want to really rally people to the San Joaquin Valley. That we got 4 million people that need us. That's my rallying point. That I really want to get people to see that. Okay. So if they live in Porterville, they want to help that community. If they live in Hanford, they really want to help that community. If they live in Sanger, they want to do a good job in Sanger. You know, they work in Kerman or Carruthers, they can see a need of filling that area, right? So I want them to get that. That's part of the crusade. Okay. How we get paid. Now after I've done that, I really want to get them excited about how they can make money. By the way, that's the reason why they're sitting down with you in the first place, is to find out how we make money. So I want to really get them excited about that, okay? I'm going to show you that right now. And then your story, everybody's got to get like a 1 to 3 minute story of themselves. Why are you doing this? What's exciting to you about it? And that is so powerful. If you can sit there and tell them for just like a minute or 2, hey, you know, I'm here to make some extra money, and I think if I could do that, I could pay off my house 5 years sooner. That doesn't matter. Even if it's that's great. You know, and so we'll talk about that in a second, okay? And then the next step, basically it's the closing on your first interview, okay? What's the next step on that? So Kevin, now how do you and Wilson know each other?
We co-workers, we work together.
You guys work together, okay, great. I may already know that, but I'm gonna ask the question anyways, right? You guys work together, oh, okay, great. You know, you guys work together long? I mean, you guys, I don't even know how long you've been there, Wilson. You guys?
A couple of years.
Couple of years there, okay. Well, thank you for meeting us today. I really appreciate you taking some time to sit down with us and whatnot. We're really excited about Wilson coming on with us and doing that, and so forth. Now, you guys will work together. Now, what do you do for what is it that you do?
I'm a clerk on the floor.
You're a clerk on the floor?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like, what does that mean? I know you guys are at the post office, but does that mean like if I go into a post office, you're going to be the gal that helps me
No,
there?
we work in the back. We process the mail in the back.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you don't want to make sure that
it gets out.
It gets out to the right places.
Yes.
Okay. Because I had a letter the other day and it never got to my place, so we didn't talk to you about that, right? So, okay, well, great. That's awesome. Now, are you from around here originally? Are you from Fresno?
Yes.
You were here. Okay. All right. Well, listen. Let me just kind of jump on in with you, if you don't mind. Today is kind of informal. Today's really a chance for you to kind of find out a little about us. At the same time, it's a chance for us to find out a little bit about you and to see if maybe this is a good fit for each other,
Okay.
or not. But because we are growing significantly right now. Now, our company is Primerica, Financial Services. Now, have you ever heard of Primerica before?
I've heard a little bit about it.
Yeah. A lot of people have heard of us to some degree. We're pretty big, but a lot of people, they don't really have like a great understanding of what we do and all that kind of stuff. So why don't we start there? Why don't we take a few minutes and I'll talk a little bit about our company, kind of explain what it is that we're doing, and if you've got questions, just kind of fire away, and we'll go from there. Our company, Primerica, we've been around, and I'll write some notes down for you, and you can just take them with you so you can have them. Okay, so one thing first is that we're not a brand new company. We've been around since 1977, so we've got almost a 40-year track record of basically. Of a proven track record of helping families in the area and people actually having careers with us and doing really, really well. So for me, when I started, one of the things that was really important for me was I wanted to make sure that I worked for a company that had been here for a while, not a company that was brand new that just started up, right? So we've been around since 1977, number one. The second thing about our company is that we're huge, okay? we're the largest, Kevin, financial service marketing company in North America. That's probably why you've heard of us. We have over 100,000 licensed representatives. In fact, by the end of the year, the plan is that we think we'll have 105,000 licensed reps. That is enormous, okay? Now, if she hadn't heard of Primerica, then I would say, now you haven't heard of us though because we don't do any kind of formal advertising. You know, we don't really have television commercials. We don't really do kind of stuff like that. Most of our business is kind of word of mouth, referral based, you know, that kind of stuff. So, but just because you haven't heard of us doesn't mean we're not big, okay? All right. And then the third thing that is pretty important is that, you know, because we do financial services, well, most companies in our industry, who they target is they target the wealthy in America. So they're going after the rich people, okay? Our company, our target is the middle class. So our market is immense. You know, the wealthy, and different analysts have different numbers, but most of them will agree about 3% of the population is considered the wealthy. So 3%, a small population, owns most of the wealth. So most financial service companies, that's who they target, because that's where all the money is. Well, with our company, that's not our strategy. What we do is we target the middle class. So our market is immense. There's a lot of people, but we have this many people to see this many clients, right? So that's why we talk to a lot of people. We don't bring on just anybody, but we do talk to a lot of people because we're looking to grow, to help better serve that market, okay?
Okay.
So our market is the middle class, and that's what kind of makes us unique, okay? Now, having said that, you know, people will typically ask me, well, okay, well, so explain to me in more detail what it is that you do, okay? So what we do is we help families in 3 areas, okay? The first area we help them in is in retirement, okay? You don't have to be a financial expert to kind of know that people are not retiring today. The numbers are profound at the statistics. The people at age 65 or older that are retiring at or below the poverty line, it is tragic. So what we do is we help families to start saving again for their retirement. You know, one of the big reasons why people don't save for their retirement is they don't think they can afford to do it. And so we start to teach people about investing and things like what's called like mutual funds. Okay, are you familiar with mutual funds at all? Have you any experience with that at all?
Just a little bit.
A little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe through work?
Do work.
Okay.
Yes.
Again, a lot of times when people are saving, they know a little bit about mutual funds, but here's what where we're different, is that a mutual fund, people know that they're good, that they should invest there, but they don't know where to go do it. Because outside of work, where do you go? You know, your bank maybe, or you know, most investment companies to start a mutual fund, they have minimums. You know, like $1,000 or $10,000 to start them. With Primerica, we can start a family in a mutual fund for as little as $25 a month. Okay, and so that makes us unique. We're one of the only companies in America that will do that for families. Okay, and but because remember I was telling you, Kevin, our market's the middle class.
Yes.
They don't have $10,000 to start saving, or $100,000. Heck, they don't even have $1,000 sometimes to start, but they can do $25. And so we're very passionate about going in there because we want families to start retiring again, to have dignity when they get to retirement years, okay? And so that's one area. The second area is debt. We have amazing debt elimination programs. We have programs where we can take, like, because families are drowning in debt today.
Yes.
You know, the middle class, it's a problem for them, isn't it?
Yes.
Right? The wealthy, they don't worry about that, but the middle class does. So we have programs that shows them how to get out of debt. We have programs that's called like a stack program. We put all their debt, credit cards, everything like that into our program, and it prints out a report, shows them how to pay it off as fast as possible. That right there should be, you know, people should charge thousands of dollars to have that kind of information, and we do that for free. We don't charge people to have that kind of program there. Okay? And then the third area is the coverage areas. Or you might know it as what's like life insurance, right? But with us, here's what you're going to find out with us, is that we don't really have a high regard for the life insurance industry as a whole. Here's why. They've taken a real need, they've twisted it, and sold very deceptively today, not to the wealthy, but to the middle class. Okay? And so when we sit down with families that have life insurance, we find they're either overinsured or underinsured, or paying way too much for the wrong type of coverage. Okay? And so let me give you a quick example of what we see when we're sitting out there, okay? We're out there with the family. This is kind of what you might see. Here's an example. If they're married, the husband has some coverage on him. He's got like $100,000 of coverage on him. The wife has some coverage. She has like $100,000 on her. And because of the type of program it is, it has like some savings in there, like a cash value in there, right? And at age 65, they're going to have some money in there. They're going to have like $60,000 saved. And they pay about $150 a month for it. Okay? If you don't know any better, that program sounds like, hey, not a bad deal. Yeah, I paid $150, but I've got coverage if we die, and if we don't die, we're going to have some money saved. Okay? Well, we don't do it that way. Okay, what we do is we do it differently. What we'll do for less money is we'll give them typically more coverage, but with no savings in that program. And the first reason is that because people are drastically underinsured. You know the average house today is between $150,000 to $250,000 of coverage. So like if they own $200,000 on their house, and if something happened to them with their insurance program, they didn't even have enough money to pay off the house. That's like the first basic coverage point that somebody should want, is to cover their house, so that way the family's not stuck with the mortgage. Okay? So we properly protected them. We put the right amount of coverage on them for them. The other thing is that we saved them money because they already had a program. So the money we saved them, we put that into a mutual fund. Because remember, we can do those for as little as $25. So we put that away in a mutual fund. And here's what we know. During that time period, the historic averages on mutual funds will drastically outperform what they would do in their life insurance program. So in this example, they were going to have like $400,000 saved in this program right here. So they were spending $150 for $100,000 of coverage and $60,000 that was on track to have by the time they got to age 65. With us, the same amount of money, more than double their coverage, and was going to give them $340,000 more dollars for retirement with all the same money. Okay? So if you look at these programs, you say, man, well, why would anybody ever choose that? Well, let me tell you what's wrong with the industry. The agents, the companies make a lot more money on these. Because look at the company. What they did, this company, they made $400,000. They only gave $60,000 to the client, so they profited $340,000. So they want their guys to sell these programs. So they pay them big commissions to sell these. So a lot of times, most families, when they sit with the life insurance agent, unless they're with our company, they're going to try to sell them that first. And remember how that sounded good? That sounded good before you knew that there was this. And so people are buying it like crazy. And our job is to go in there and fix it. And they're selling it. Here's the problem. This is why I'm talking to you, Kevin. Because the people they're selling it to isn't the people that you might think. It's like our families. And it's our aunt and uncles. It's your sisters, your brothers, your cousins, your coworkers. People like that have this kind of stuff. And I'm saying that because I want Kevin to think if she has a whole life policy, she's thinking now, shoot, maybe that's what she has. Right? And so I go over that and I kind of explain that to them there. Okay? You guys are cold?
It's good. Hold on. What is that? You're selling?
Term.
I mean,
And yeah, and so I mean I don't really get into the details of like the different types of the products, but I mean it's term and a mutual fund, you know, to kind of introduce that concept to them a little bit. But I'm going to the next couple of times we meet, okay? And so okay, now that was just a quick overview, kind of like what we do, just kind of give you an idea. We summarize all that, and we call it a financial needs analysis. It's a program, and we train you how to do that. In fact, in a relatively short period of time, you'll be an expert in all these areas, you know, coming through here with us. But the next thing is, what I'd like to show you too, is how do we get paid for doing what we do? You know, we get paid on all our products and services. But I'll give you, you know that life insurance example? Let me give you an example of how you would get paid on that, okay? On that life insurance example, for doing that, if it costs them like $50 a month, you know, you get paid anywhere from like $300 to $400 every time you did one of those programs. And it took you maybe about an hour to do. Maybe 2 hours at the beginning. But when you get really good, you can do it like in an hour. So we're talking about on a part-time position, part-time opportunity with us, that you can make $300 to $400 an hour with us, helping families doing this. I mean, do you see there as a need? Do you think that people would need what we're doing? People would like to find out that information? Yeah, they would, right? And then you get paid for doing that. $300 to $400 every time you do one. So imagine if you did one a week. That's an extra $1,200 a month, part-time. Imagine it now if you're really motivated, a self-motivator, and let's say you did 3 a week. That's $900 a week. That's that's almost $4,000 a month you can make with us on a part-time basis. That's why we have a lot of people that start with us part-time, and then they eventually go full-time, because they can make more here part-time than what they can do full-time at their job when they learn how to do it and they get good at this, right? And so that's when I talk about getting paid. I'm pretty quick with that, but I want to see them to kind of see how they can get paid. And now you got to be licensed for that. We help you with that. I mean, we're going to train you and show you everything you need to know to be able how to do this stuff with us, okay? And so, any questions on that so far, Kevin? And
No.
And they almost never do, okay? And I say, Kevin, when I started, let me tell you a little about when I started. I've been here now 14 years, okay? And when I started, I honestly, I came on, I thought, man, this would be cool to make some extra money. And we did. But then I started to see the big picture, what this all could mean, and how big and how much money we could make if because I was 26 years old at the time, and I just saw that there was a huge potential here and huge future here. And my wife and I, we've been here now, I've been full time now 13 years. I haven't had a boss, haven't had to work for anybody, and this is all we do now. And we've got, I've got agents, throughout the valley, and we got a fantastic team. But having said all that, we are looking to grow. We need more guys and gals, and we need more people like you. We really do. From what I've gotten from Wilson, what he's told me about you, I mean, I think you'd be a great fit, an absolute great fit. Now I know you don't have enough info yet to make a decision yet, but from what I'm gathering so far, I like you. I think you'd be really good, and so forth. But at the very least, you should at least, find out the next phase of info, But, I mean, how is this sounding so far, Kevin? Is this piquing your interest at all?
Oh, yes.
It is? Okay. Then this is what I would recommend. I recommend that we get together again, okay? But the next time we get together, because for time-wise, for time-wise, obviously I apologize, I didn't have, I don't have enough time to, for us to get to everything today, but let's get together the next time. What we'll do is I'll go over kind of like how our training works, how our licensing program works. There's some classes and stuff like that that we would have you do that, right? And promotions and exactly more detail how you get paid on everything we do, okay? And at that point, Kevin, if everything sounds good at that point, then we'll talk about, possibly how, we could get you started with us, okay, there. What does your calendar look like tomorrow? Because I'll be back out here again tomorrow. If you guys want, maybe we can meet during you guys' lunch break and then kind of go from there. How does that sound okay?
Sounds good.
Oh, sound good? Okay, great. So we'll go meet here tomorrow at 12 o'clock. If you got any questions in the meantime, just write them down, and then when we get together tomorrow, we will, we'll go from there, okay? And it really is that simple. It really is that simple. So, when we meet the next time together, tomorrow, I'm sitting there at Starbucks. If I see Kevin Woodard walk through the Starbucks doors, I know she's in. She is, because if she liked today, she's going to love tomorrow. And I know she's in. And we're going to do her IBA, everything's done. If she doesn't walk in tomorrow, she's not interested. That's a nice way. It's a nice way for them to let you down. Right? I never ask her, do you want to do it? Yes or no? Right? Yeah, I don't do that. We don't do that. Now, a lot of teams do, and you see their IBA numbers are through the roof, but that's why they'll get 100 recruits and they license 4. Okay? And so we don't do that. We give them that opportunity. If she goes home, she's thinking about it, she does that, and she walks through those doors tomorrow at Starbucks, I know she's in. I know she's in. And by the way, we were strangers yesterday, we're friends now. Hey Kevin, how you doing? Oh, hey Linda, how you doing? Oh man, great. How was work today? Oh man, it was good. I mean, I know we're good now. We're good. Okay? And we'll do the second interview, and I'll show you guys how we do that on our next time together. But that's basically it. Okay? Yeah, you can go to South.